It is almost August, and so it's time to pick our next TBR Reading Spa read. Jen of Jen the Librarian and I have been running this year-long reading sort of challenge where we are celebrating our home libraries and using a silly quiz each month to guide us to one of 3 prompts to help us choose something to read from our home library to be able to work our way through our own TBRs. So let's see what August has in store. Options that we could end up with are all cover related. So we could end up with a prompt to read a book with an ugly cover, to read a book with a cover you wouldn't usually pick up. So for example, I wouldn't usually pick up a book that's got like cartoony caricature type images on the cover, or to read a book with a beautiful cover. So those are the 3 possible prompts that we could end up with. And the question that will guide us there to start off with is, what kind of book covers do you find most appealing? It could be classic and understated, could be quirky and unusual, or it could be bold and striking. I think I am going to go with quirky and unusual. And that leads us on to the next question, which is, are you wearing something colourful today? I mean, there is colour on my t-shirt, but I wouldn't describe it as particularly colourful. I think I could probably argue that either way, but I think predominantly the answer is no, which means that I get to read a book with a beautiful cover. How exciting. Let's go and have a look at the shelves and see what I can find for that prompt. Okay, literally as I've sat down, I've looked at one and said, yeah, it's going to be that. But for the interest of making this a bit more interesting, I thought we could pull out a few options. So this pile that I have here is in preparation for Shorty September, which will be upon us really soon. This little pile is books that I've been gifted. So I'm on a bit of a side quest at the moment which perhaps I'll talk about another time, to read through, prioritise reading commitments, because I want to remove my reading commitments so that I can really dive into proper mood reading, and just pick up whatever takes my fancy without thinking, oh, but I should be reading X, Y, and Z. So these 2 are the books that I have left from publishers that I need to read. Oh, and I've got one upstairs, I think, somewhere. And these are books that I've been gifted that I will want to prioritise at least some of. But I don't think any of those have like really especially beautiful covers. So the book that I was sort of drawn to straight away as I sat down is this Miranda Darling, Thunderhead. I just absolutely love this cover. Have I picked this up recently for one of these? Probably. Maybe that's a sign that I should just read it. And I also have the sequel, Fireweather. So yeah, I just think the pearls on that blue sky are lush. So that's a definite option for a beautiful cover. I think Albion's got a really beautiful cover. I love this colourway. That's by Anna Hope. Okay, well, I'll tell you about what that one's about too. Oh, I'm actually listening to this at the moment, so I'm just going to pull that out. It's Favourite Daughter, but I've got the audiobook of that on the go at the moment, so I'll pull that out of my TBR. What else might have a beautiful cover? Maybe, I know. Ooh, I mean, I am obsessed with women like swimming on book covers. I don't know if that's a beautiful thing or if that's just something that I'm slightly obsessed with. I think this cover is gorgeous and I really love the sound of this book. I don't think I'm going to pick this because it's quite chunky. But oh, this poor book, it does get left on my shelves quite a lot. And maybe actually I should pick the list because this is my absolute favourite colour. As you can see, my nails match it. This kind of lilac-y colour is my absolute fave. So, okay, well, that's 4 books. I'm pretty confident that it's likely to end up being the Miranda Darling, but you never know. Let's dive into what they're about and everything could change. Okay, so Thunderhead. When Winona Dalloway begins her day in the peaceful early hours before her children, that tiny tornado of little hands and feet, wake up, she doesn't know that by the end of it, everything in her world will have changed. On the outside, Winona is a seemingly unremarkable young mother, unobtrusive, quietly going about her tasks. But within is a vivid, chaotic self, teeming with voices, a mind both wild and precise. And meanwhile, a storm is brewing. And then one of the blurbs described it as darkly funny, astute, and timely. And I like the sound of all of those things. Just in terms of cover, I love this. Okay, Albion by Anna Hope. I have a feeling this was on, I want to say, a climate fiction prize. I should really check that. I'm not sure. It's been on a prize this year. The Brooke family are gathering in their 18th century ancestral home, 20 bedrooms of carved Sussex sandstone, to bury Philip, husband, father, and the blinding sun around which they have all orbited for as long as they can remember. Franny, inheritor of 1,000 acres of English countryside, has dreams of rewilding and returning the estate to nature, a last line of defence against the coming climate catastrophe. Milo envisages a treetop haven for the super rich, where, under the influence of psychedelic drugs, a new ruling class will be reborn. Each believes their father has given them his blessing, setting them on a collision course with one another. Issa has long suspected that her father thought only of himself and hopes to seek out her childhood love, who still lives on the estate, to discover whether it is her feelings for him that are creating the fault lines in her marriage. And then there is Clara, who arrives in their midst from America, shrouded in secrets and bearing a truth that will fracture all the dreams which they've built their lives. I think it sounds smashing, and actually it sounds like a really good summer read, doesn't it? Okay, yeah, contender. Okay, we've got Dazzling by Chickadilly Emelumadu. So, what's this about? Treasure and her mother lost everything when Treasure's daddy died. Haggling for scraps in the market, Treasure meets a spirit who promises to bring her father back, but she has to complete a monstrous task for him first. Ozoemena has an itch in the middle of her back that can't be scratched, an itch that tells of her great and terrible destiny, secretly passed down through generations to defend her people by becoming a leopard. Her father impressed upon her what an honour this was before he vanished, but it's one she couldn't want less. But as the two girls reckon with their burgeoning wildness and the legacy of their father's decisions, Ozoemena's fellow students and at her new boarding school start to vanish. Treasure and Ozoemena will face frightening choices as they are drawn into battle with sinister forces, and it's a fight they can't both survive. And then lastly, we have The List by Yomi Adegoke, and this says, Ola, a high-profile journalist at Woman magazine, is marrying the love of her life in 1 month's time. Young, beautiful and successful, she and her fiancé Michael Koranteng are the couple goals of their social networks. And as Michael has finally landed the job of his dreams, the pair truly seem to have it all. Until one morning when they both wake up to the same message. Oh my God, have you seen The List? It all began as a list of anonymous allegations about abusive men circulated in secret to protect other women. Now it has been published online. Ola made her name breaking exactly this type of story. She would usually be the first to cover it, calling for the men to be fired. Except today, Michael's name is on there. With their future on the line, Ola gives Michael an ultimatum to prove his innocence by their wedding day, but will the truth of what happened change everything for both of them? Compulsively page-turning, wildly entertaining and piercing with fearless insight, The List is a sensational debut novel from an eclectic new voice in fiction, Yomi Adegoke. Okay, I really love the sound of this, but my friend is getting married next weekend. I'm going to her wedding next Saturday, and this sounds like it could be cursing it. So we will not be reading this right now. We're ruling that out. I think I am going to stick solely to the prompt, although I do like the sound of all of these books. I am going to go with the one with the most beautiful cover, and that is Thunderhead by Miranda Darling.
wish I had the world to give you, baby. I don't even have the time to tell you bedtime stories.
So this morning I had to do like a recording of a bit of a presentation so that it can just be played without somebody having to be there. Did it in one take, wonder. Why can't I do that on YouTube? Yeah, because believe it or not, despite the waffle that you get to see, it still sometimes takes me several attempts to get a sentence out. Although to be fair, yeah, that's why it was scripted. That's why I don't script my videos. You just get the joy of what is in my head coming out. Lucky you. Anyway, I thought I would give you a quick update on Thunderhead by Miranda Darling. I am not quite halfway, but gosh, this is like, I mean, it's really good, but it's also quite intense. So it's about a kind of housewife, not a kind of housewife, it's about a woman who is a housewife. Editing Kerry here. She is not a housewife. In fact, she is an author, but she does a lot of the domestic labour at home. I got confused because I have been watching a TV programme which has a similar character. So she is an author of romantic fiction and also does a lot of the domestic labour at home. And on the outside, she's entertaining her husband's like colleagues, and she's taking the kids to school and she's doing the things. But we get her inner monologue and she is losing her shit, like in real time, in quite a serious way. So it's really compelling, but it's also quite anxiety inducing. Like she experiences some anxiety and yeah, I'm finding that really quite like not triggering, but it's making me feel anxious reading about it. I think it's yeah, it's very, very well written. There's these bits where basically you get kind of her inner voice and it's written in bold and she's kind of like answering herself back, not in a kind of hearing voices way. Now I'm questioning that. Maybe it is. I don't think, but certainly in that kind of like inner monologue, you're having a conversation with yourself, or you're telling yourself, don't be so stupid, that kind of thing. Some of that's written in italics and bold. I think that's really clever. Yeah, so really enjoying this. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole last night and had a look at, so the cover designer is somebody called Luke Bird, and had a look at some of the other covers that they have designed, because I really do think this is very beautiful. And yeah, he's got some really striking, I'll put his Instagram here, the stuff that I found. But yeah, he's got some really interesting covers. And, you know, going back to that original question that drew me to this prompt was something like, you know, what kind of covers do you go for? And I think I picked something like quirky. And yeah, that's certainly his style. So yeah, that was really interesting. I've never really done that. I've never really like looked at a cover designer's art before. Like, I've appreciated it. I really value covers and what they communicate to a reader, but I'd never really kind of like gone and looked at a cover designer and seen their work, like a collection of their work. So that was really cool to do. Yeah, I'd encourage you to do the same. The other thing that I did last night, which was quite funny, which I would encourage you to do too, is have a look through the storygraph challenge for this prompt, and try and figure out whether you think people have put books on there because there are ugly covers, because they're beautiful covers, or because they're covers that they wouldn't usually read from. That was yeah, quite an entertaining 5 minutes. All right, that's all I have for you just now.
So to chase away the monsters from your mind, you're waking on again.
I've just read a quote that's like punched me in the gut, so I thought I would share it with you. It says, "You attract bullies. Men are drawn to you because you seem independent." Sorry, that's Brennan flopping down. Let's start again, shall we? "You attract bullies. Men are drawn to you because you seem independent and intelligent, but you're actually completely submissive. They feel in control. They can expand into the space you refuse to fight for and take it all. Oh, I wish I could have read that to my younger self. Like Kerry in her 20s really could have done with hearing that. Yeah, this is there's been a few moments where I've like noted down quotes, and it's really interesting because for the most part, like, she's fucking bonkers. But there's also a lot that's relatable, which is terrifying, and a lot that makes an awful lot of sense, also terrifying.
I'm sorry I was late today. I didn't get to see you dance the waltz.
So I'm thinking maybe she's not bonkers. Maybe she is being gaslit. This is very interesting. That was so tense at the end. So tense. Oh, this was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I don't like stream of consciousness writing usually, but something about this really, really worked for me. It was really disquieting for the most part, but it built up so much tension by the end. I was on absolute tenterhooks, and the fact that the very last sentence, oh, is that I don't want to give any spoilers, but the very last sentence had me like, oh. Yeah, I don't want to say why because that might be a spoiler. But anyway, there's a sequel, and I would want to pick it up straight away, but I have other reading plans that I'm really keen to get to. But I will not be sleeping on Fireweather, which is the next book. Oh God, this was incredible. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I loved this. Absolutely loved it. I'm so pleased that I did, because I've got 2 of them. I would have been a bit sad if I didn't like it. It just did such a good job at kind of like making this really heady mix of the mundane and the absurd and the profound. Like, all of those 3 things would be happening in sentence by sentence. Yeah, and you know, she'd be kind of, I don't know, bathing the kids or making dinner, and you know, you'd be getting that description, and then like these truth bombs would be dropping, like really profound thoughts. I thought this was really special. Loved it. Yay for a hit. I'm not sure it was darkly funny. Yeah, I'm just looking back at that blurb that I read out at the beginning. Darkly funny, astute, and timely. Definitely astute, definitely timely. I didn't I didn't find it very funny. But yes, super intense. Really, really, really smart writing. I love this very much. I'd love to know if you've read this, and if you've read the next book. Yeah, I thought it was superb. Okay, well, I'm delighted to be back with a successful little reading vlog. As you by know, I've been on a wee bit of a hiatus, taking a bit of a break, and just, yeah, preparing myself to film when I felt like it. I'll be honest, when I first started filming this, I was like, oh no, I'm not feeling it. But I think that was just from being out of practice. And so I'm just going to crack on, get on with it. I have kind of made a list of like a sort of mid-year freak out tag, or you know, I've kind of like amended that. I've not filmed that yet. I've still got a stack of books upstairs ready to go. It's not the mid-year anymore. Do we still want that? It's okay if not. But yeah, if not, then you will see me again soon, no doubt, with whatever I decide to do next. Just spoiler alert, I have just been completely blindsided by the Booker long list. I'm not usually a Booker person, but the long list came out yesterday and I was like, yeah, want to read all of that. So my TBR is taking a hit. Jen has been trolling me in messages saying, what about your TBR, Kerry? Yeah, but yeah, so I might be doing some book reading this year. That would be a treat too. Yeah, thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you for watching. I really do hope that you're looking after yourself, and I'll see you again in another video.